All right. I know it doesn't sound like me, but I am Brittany.
She is, everybody.
I'm back. Okay, we got to talk Meghan and Harry.
Oof. Meghan and Markle and Prince Harry. Number one, quick update for everybody. Prince Harry's tabloid drama in the UK has not finished. He just started his latest case. This is against Rupert Murdoch's British tabloid. So here in the States, everybody knows the Murdoch family, not the Murdoch family, the Murdoch family. They own Fox.
Yeah.
Well, over in the UK, they own a bevy of different newspapers as well. The biggest one that you've probably heard of is The Sun. That's where you get a lot of your tabloid news. So this is the latest in a series of different lawsuits that he's had against different publications. One of them, he won with the Mirror tabloid because he said, hey, you hacked a lot of my personal information. You shouldn't do that. This one essentially is saying the same thing. And he said, I'm the last person who can actually achieve this and also closure for these 1,300 people and families. Now, he's referencing 1,300 people because those are all the different people that have accused the Sun and the different publications, News UK, that the Murdoch family owns. They've all accused them of saying, like, you've hacked my personal information. You've taken photos. You've taken emails that, like, were sensitive to me. A lot of these people are, like, sports stars, singers, actors, people who are part of like crimes and terrorism, a lot of like really shady practices over the years. But his, of course, is he's really nailed this specific publication of the Rupert Murdoch's family as being a major reason his family has a huge rift.
Yeah.
So all of that started today. He was not there. He's going to be there in the future, but we will stay tuned on that. The fun news.
Yeah.
Okay. Meghan Markle's team. This just came out in Variety. They did a massive Vanity Fair. This giant bombshell against Harry and Meghan, interviewing a lot of their former staffers, people who have met them, people who still work with them, are still friends with them. Wide variety of people with a wide variety of opinions about these two. But the thing that really jumped out was that her team allegedly quietly shopped a book about post-divorce life. Which, like, they're saying, now that this has come out, they're like, no. It was Meghan talking about when she divorced from her first husband, Trevor Engelson, when she was working on Suits. It was just about that. It's like more of a, hey, let's get over, let's recover things. Because if you remember, they have a multi-million, like, I don't remember how big, like a massive multi-million dealer with a publishing house.
Yeah.
And all she's written so far is like a children's book. He had Suits. So they're saying, no. This was going to be about, yes, thank you, Spare. Yeah. This was going to be about her last marriage. But it's really, really weird. And these sources are saying like, no. It was just a, what if this happens? Would you be interested in hearing from Meghan?
You know, and it's not crazy, right? Like as somebody who has been divorced to be like, I mean, it's a little crazy. Like the more I'm like,
this
could you imagine
later?
if you found out your husband was secretly working on a project that was based on like fan fiction if you got divorced?
Right?
No, it's a weird vibe.
And this whole book deal, who cared about her in 2014 when she got divorced from her previous husband? Like, Suits wasn't as big of a deal then as it is now. Mm-mm. So we didn't have that following it up. I don't think most of us would have even known she married Trevor Engelson. I don't think people would be lining up to buy a book about that divorce. Yeah. There's no way that's what it's actually about.
Yeah, like you've bounced back.
And she had that book deal when she was a, fourth or fifth cast member on Suits? Really?
Yeah,
she had the book deal at that
point. That's a really good point, too.
So their argument is that they're saying, like, listen, it's a 4-book deal with Penguin Random House. Obviously, we mentioned Harry's book, and then she's only done this children's book. So they're saying, like, oh, she was just trying to come to the table with ideas for them. But, like, that is weird. Why would you ever talk about your recovery from your divorce from, like, what, 10, 15 years ago?
And maybe it was. Like, I'm trying to think of, like, they're at a point, and this is the article I found this weekend of my favorite publication, Radar Online.
Brittany loves them.
I love them. They're just like me. They're just so out of pocket. They're nuts. But the question they asked around Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is, are they running out of money and friends? And the amount of flopped things that have fallen on their laps, that I would imagine if you were shopping a book about divorce from your first marriage, that, spoiler alert, you've upgraded. Like, I would think that would fall in the flop section. There was a big talk around what hasn't worked. And they're adding it. It's maybe a little early to make the call. But they're adding their new Netflix docuseries, Polo, and something that Kendall, who is the #1 demo, said not worth watching. So
It's terrible.
If Kendall even gave me a hint of I'm not excited about this, I would say hard pass, because she is the demo. She loves all things Royals.
I love them. I love documentaries. I love sports. Like,
Yeah.
I will ride or die for Meghan and Harry, and I still could not get through the second episode.
So as we know, I mean, we've talked about their big success, which is Spare, right? The book Spare did very well. It still does pretty well, I think, in numbers. But they have had a lot of things that didn't work. Remember the podcast? And I say that in parentheses because it was supposed to be like
Archetypes?
it was supposed to be like a tell-all, and them being, no, it was the most scripted thing ever. And of course it was. Like, you aren't going to get these two people who have had to hold their tongues for this long, all of a sudden telling the truth. So how many failed projects can they handle?
Well, and Archetypes was the big thing with Megan's team. Was this is going to be a big podcast about where we interview people. I listened to a couple of episodes and I just wasn't that interested. So once again, to Brittany's point, like, I am your person. I will ride or die. And I still was like, boom, 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 boom.
It's like, if I don't like a Taylor Swift song, it must really suck.
It must be terrible.
Thanks.
Like, she had Serena Williams on and they were talking, and the whole idea of Archetypes was like, okay, so people say this one thing about Serena Williams, but this is why she's not that one thing. Even the premises of the argument didn't make sense. Like, it just made it was nowhere. This Vanity Fair article said that Harry at one point came forward with this idea of like how you become a sociopath. So he named off like 6 different billionaires he wanted to interview and ask how the psychology of like their childhood transformed them into being a sociopath. I'm not going to name who he said, but like, this article, multiple people are quoted as saying like, hey, this actually did happen.
Yeah.
He did want to do this podcast, but like, kind of hard to get people to sign up when you go, hey, I want you to tell me how you're wildly successful and why that makes you a sociopath.
At least there's a hook, because the other one was so cotton candy stupid. And like, here's where I fall. And I'll be, fully transparent. I fall in the former with our show, is I either want people that don't feel like they have to hide anything, and that's us, or I want it to be so well produced and so well done. And those are the two categories that I would fall in. They don't fall in either. I'm not going to go to them. They're not specialists. They're not, the freakonomics. You know what I mean? Like, they're not like a well done podcast. And they're not people who are going to be honest. Like, we come on here, we don't really have much to lose if I tell you, something embarrassing about the time that I pooped my pants and my stepdad pooped his pants in the same day in a different state.
I always got to bring that poor man
I don't
into this.
know. It's just funny
Now
to
it's
me.
on YouTube.
He was a pillar of the community.
It was on her.
But you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know who thought, at least this sociopath thing, I go, there's a hook, because I don't know in what world you can be well produced but not a specialist in your field.
I have a little problem with the math here of the fact that they are in this much financial trouble and these projects are failing.
Yeah.
It was a $100 million deal with Netflix in 2020.
Yeah.
Now, I know people say, yeah, but they're round the clock protection. It's estimated that's like $2 to $3 million bucks a year. Don't get me wrong. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's a $100 million deal. Not to mention, he just turned 40, and that means he inherited another $10 million from his mom and from the royal family. We highlighted that. So it's easy to punch these two because they're very punchable right now. And I think a lot of people do that. And I don't know if I buy the whole, they're having projects that are failing. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think money's going to be an issue.
Well, then this is what I beg of them. What do you want to do? And I ask this of anybody in their life who has fought for freedom in a relationship, freedom in a job, freedom in any aspect. They fought so hard, tooth and nail, like literally moved heaven and earth to move out of a country that they didn't feel was treating them right, to move out of something that wasn't working for them. And now they have. So if she wants to make jam, make jam. If he wants to work on, but I don't want them taking what is just readily available. And I think a lot of times that's what happens to them. They're like, of course we should do this docuseries. No, what do you want to do? What did you change your whole life, possibly burn every bridge in your family so you could be free to do what? And please go on Suits again, Meghan Markle, because at least that would be interesting to us.
Please. I think this is the ideal for both of them. Harry would love nothing more than just to be the guy that works with nonprofits. He gets to work with his various causes that mean a lot to him. Go to Africa, bring any kind of awareness to his nonprofits that he does with soldiers. That's what he wants to do. Meghan would love to do lifestyle. That's what she did when she had the tag when she was an actress that nobody really knew anything about. And so I think her new show on Netflix that's, again, been backtracked into early March because of the fires, I think that will give us a better idea of her, what she wants.
Yeah.
But with him, I think that's where he'd be so happy. And he's just fighting to find these other avenues of revenue because he's like, well, I have to do something to make money.
But you don't. It's like Mike said, there's automatically money coming towards you as you age and you're set. I love the Invictus Games. That could be your whole thing if that's what you want to do.
It's got to be pride.
And we're talking Meghan Markle and Prince Harry here. And you're right. Yeah, probably pride. And probably the expectation to make a bunch of money on your own,
That and just maybe the sense of duty, because we know that's what royals, that's what it is. They are, yes, they make a lot of money and they just are rich for being rich and they are the royal family. But going on these tours and going on these different excursions, that sense of purpose is something that royals have been instilled with. That's their big thing and reason for being here.
It's just wild. I'm very, if you want to read that whole Vanity Fair article, we will link it in the show page. It's a big read. It's a lot. But if you are at all interested in them or what goes on behind the scenes, it's pretty well sourced. And I would definitely give it a look.
On the other side of the spectrum, if you want an easy read that is not well sourced, find yourself on Radar Online. You're welcome.
There, she said it. Okay. Hey.
The earth has shooketh this morning with an unfollow that all made us go,
It was heard around the world.
It's the unfollow that changed the trajectory of our lives. Justin Bieber has unfollowed his wife, Hailey Bieber. What the actual hell is going on here, people? And it's so funny because I was doing show prep this weekend because I don't have a life when I don't work. And I was seeing Justin sit around in wet underwear. And I thought to myself, should we be concerned? This is how this is the start of every tragic story is a man sitting around in wet underwear. And
which I honestly don't want to see. I just don't.
Especially white.
In
weird.
The cold?
Yeah.
Not doing yourself any favors.
I have a low bar for what. No, you're so right, Mike. I have a low bar for what I deem acceptable as I walk to the mailbox at the end of the cul-de-sac. And even I say, Justin Bieber, wet underwear? I could never.
I will say the exception to the rule was Brad Pitt circa Troy years and Fight Club years. I'm fine with
I don't know. Wet underwear makes me feel so uncomfortable, cold and yeast infection-esque. UTIs coming your way. I don't think
it's the same for men. I'm just going to throw that out there. Their body parts are different, Britt.
I don't know. I've never had a penis that is attached to my body.
They were going to say something else, and I was like, okay.
I do have to say, Jeremy Allen White also, sweaty-esque underwear last year. Okay, fine.
Jaw was okay. We were okay with that. Yeah, Bieber. Okay, so sorry, we digress. Back to Bieber.
Of course we do.
And Hailey Bieber. So he unfollows his wife. People immediately figured out, because it's not hard if you go on Instagram and you go following and you type in the name and they're not following them. So Justin goes on and says, someone went on my account and unfollowed my wife. Bleep is getting sus out there. And then he deleted it. So he goes and defends himself and then deletes it. Mike, I know that we talked about them even on just as early as Friday. Yeah. And then when Brittany was here, we talked about them on Wednesday, because it was just getting very weird.
Yeah. Lots of things going on. Again, I think there's new music in the works. I think there's a new project on the way. And I think whether it's good or bad, in this case, you can just say, yeah, I was hacked. No big deal. And now we're spending the whole day talking about him and Hailey. Just like last week, we talked about him and Scooter Braun when he unfollowed Scooter. And you're just getting his name back in the headlines. This is right after we've had rumors that he's worked with a producer, music producer on new music. He's teased new music on his stories on Friday. There was a 20-second clip of him singing a song we never heard before in the background. He's just making sure he gets out there before new music comes.
Well, and why unfollow your wife?
Follow your wife. And
because you can just say you were hacked and then come back the next day and be like, oh, we're better now. And now we're talking about it.
Listen, I have a lot of aunts. I have a huge family. My mom comes from 10. They get hacked every other week. I have a different aunt who's like, hello, good seeing you last week, Brittany. Like, I would like $40. You know, they get hacked constantly. They have never been hacked and then somebody has unfollowed people.
I didn't say he was hacked. I said he's saying he was hacked.
Are we going to find out in a week, just like when the guy had sex on Instagram Live, that JK, I wasn't hacked. I was annoyed with my wife?
Shannon Sharp, yeah.
He's not going to walk this back.
He's not going to walk this back.
Well, if he would have just posted some videos of a car that you could win next, just for subscribe to this post, we'd be like, oh, he really was hacked. That's wild.
I know. That's why I was like, wait, did he? But I was like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, if he was like hey, send me your address kind of vibe, or like click here, like a little sneaky link.
His wife is
a saint.
She is it girl.
I know.
Like,
did you see what she was wearing in Aspen?
This is exactly what I'm saying. Like, we're talking about like what his wife was wearing in Aspen. Like, that's Hailey Bieber in a nutshell.
She went full Yeti.
It's hot.
It was hot, but if you guys, it's like people who are currently in temperatures that are in the negatives. None of us have gone full Yeti yet. A shame it hasn't come here, Minnesota first.
Okay.
It was full suit, legs and arm, Yeti-fied. She was freaking Sully from Monsters, Inc.
Here's the deal. We can't get away with that.
Yes, we can.
We're too tall. We just actually look like Yetis. It's like, oh, watch the monsters. They come for you.
We do have Yeti vibes. We are Yeti adjacent.
We can't pull that off. Like the teeny tiny
Tell me I
little,
can't. One more time. You know what's going to happen.
Their shoulders will get you.
Tell me I can't. One more time. I would Yeti it up so hardcore just to prove you wrong. I'm heading to Goodwill tomorrow.
Like, we go in and they're like, okay, so actually the height restriction is 5'6", because after this you actually start to look a little scary.
Because here's the thing.
Scream.
I've been rocking a lot of like jeans that are kind of capri-esque because like I'm tall. Mm-hmm. Nothing would look sillier than a high water. Yeah, like, what is it called when we used to wear?
Oh, the high water.
No.
What? Gauchos?
No, remember what they call it? Like, what are those, flood pants or like?
Oh, I didn't wear those.
Well, these guys, when it's too short, a Yeti costume that is too short on your legs, mortified. Throw on some Uggs.
Looks like you shaved your legs, you know? It's the first for
everything. It was the first for me.
That mustache, you know? That was not me. That was a joke someone else made about Brittany once. I don't think she has a mustache.
Also, it's winter here in Minnesota, so if you are shaving your legs,
what are you doing?
You're not doing it right.
Oh, it's freezing here. Okay, you guys, season 6 of The Kardashians is dropping on Hulu.
Wait, that question then. And how many were there prior?
The Kardashians?
Yeah, just because I get like a feel. Because I know
like 21 maybe?
So like we're nearing 30 years or 30 seasons of this. And are they full years? Are they like
not really? They cut them around.
Okay,
you know, and like the pandemic years are weird. I can't remember if they had 22 seasons.
I'll look it up
now.
Thank you.
20 seasons.
Thank you. Okay. And then they were like, we're done. And then they went to Hulu and said, we're just cutting out the keeping up part and making you
You've
stream
kept up. Now we're just the Kardashians.
You've been caught.
That's all. We're going to change the lighting a little bit so it's more of a glam look. So season 6 is coming out of The Kardashians. They dropped the trailer this weekend. And before I tell you who shows up, I want you to listen to this, all of our wonderful listeners, and tell me if you can figure it out for yourself.
I honestly think timing is everything. You guys are never going to guess who I met with.
Who? This is Chloe. Insane. This is Chris.
That was the love of her life.
I don't know this person anymore.
I'm devastated for my child.
It's the truth. The truth hurts one time. A lie hurts 7,000 times. In this family, there has to be drama.
You swooped in and took my agent.
I'm so mad. You guys aren't my real family.
We're not doing this again, guys. I am so done with her.
Okay, the end was just extra drama for
And
you.
I love a monotone, dramatic statement. I am so done with her. Because like in reality, you go, I'm so done with her.
Never.
But the way
Kim's
I am so done with her.
so done. She
Beautiful.
stole my manager. So Chloe has Lamar come over. Lamar Odom. This is her first husband.
Yeah.
They met, got engaged, and then married within a month of meeting. They were together for many years. There were rumors of infidelity on his part, specifically that he would go to brothels, which then ended up being true because she was in the process of filing for divorce when he was found unconscious in a brothel. If you remember this, she stopped the divorce proceedings. She took care of him for months after that. It got him into rehab, got him figured out, and then they went through with the process. But as Chris says, she's like, that was the love of her life.
Yeah.
She never has really bounced back totally from it. Lamar shows up on one of the promos for this with flowers in hand.
It's so produced. This is
He
so
hasn't
produced.
been back in years.
Yeah.
It's wild.
But what do you do for the 26th season of Kardashians, formerly known as Keeping Up With?
Are you trying to tell me it's fake?
I'm trying to tell you that this is this is a moment where you go, what else could they do? Bring Lamar back.
Well, he says he ran into Malika, who is Chloe's best friend.
Of course.
And Malika's like, it's time, Lamar. You and she could be friends. And so he was asked, Lamar then was later on asked, so are you guys together? And he was very weirdly evasive about it. Was like, I wouldn't say we're together. I would just be really happy to be her friend. That would mean a lot to me. And I'm like, bro, you were not together. You and Chloe are not together at any level.
Also, the producers are like, don't say if you aren't. We want to keep this going.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you get your paycheck. And he's like, so I'm literally not going to say because I really need this paycheck.
Mm-hmm. Also, Kim, and it's not that interesting to listen to, so we didn't play the whole thing, but Kim is designing a new closet for her new SO. They don't name him, but Chris is like, oh my gosh, you really do like this guy. And Kim was like, remember when I told you guys I was just really excited to be single? She goes, I'm just kidding. I suck at being single. I hate being single. I'm never single.
I hate that this is also sometimes my personality is that it's rare that I've gone big stretches of being single in my single days. And she reminds me of that. And I want to go, oh, you really need to be single. But I never really lived by that either.
Oh, it's so toxic and
It's
so
so
fabulous.
toxic. It's so bad.
I want to know who her person is, though. I've been looking. Mike, I'm just curious if there's anything in the blinds about this because since OBJ, there's been nothing. And it's not him that they're talking about.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of nothing too. But that's one thing that the Kardashians are amazing with. There's a reason why this Lamar stuff really didn't get out much, even though this happened. This has all been filmed and been in the can for a while. They are so good at keeping those things hidden. And it sounds like he, and again, if you want to believe the rumors, we aren't really going to know because it doesn't sound like he's really a famous person.
So it's just a businessman.
Probably just some business dude.
Good
that
for her.
Will soon be the next, Mr. Kim Kardashian.
Or maybe she's doubling back and we'll get that Minnesota guy, Chris
Humphries?
Yes.
I think so.
Why not?
Why not?
I say it's 2025. Recycle.
I'm very. We upcycle now.
We upcycle.
We don't recycle. We upcycle.
Hey, your little. If you cared about numbers, it wouldn't go up then. So think about it.
I don't know. I don't know who it is, and I can't figure it out.
Y'all are gonna keep us up to date.
Don't worry. I'll let you know. Hey, guys, I'll watch the show.
You're
for the show.
so
I'll watch
nice.
the show for all of us.
Thanks, Kendall. You're the
welcome.
best.
You're welcome.